What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, I'm going to go over um, a, um, a section on why people fail challenges, right? And this usually comes, right, if you think about it, usually 3 weeks in to a challenge, right? We're thinking of like January time frame. It's usually at the end of January, beginning of February, right? And so most people, when they start, they fail around like week 3, week 4, right? And this is sort of why I tell a lot of people when they first start, as long as you can make it past that like segment, that 3 week mark, that 4 week mark, you're generally going to be fine, right? As long as you learn something along the way, right? It's not just going back and forth between not getting good reps of, being like learning something, right? And taking imperfect action. If you can make it past that 4th week, you're generally going to be fine. Most people don't make it past that time frame because their mindset is a little bit off, right? So today, what we're going to talk about is why people end up failing. Right? What is the reason why numbers are down after New Year's resolutions? It's almost become cliche to talk about it and stuff like that. So that's going to be the theme of today's chat. Right? But we're also going to talk about the goal of our challenges. Right? Why, like when we talk about this in our onboarding, what is the goal? Why do we put it on the way we do? Right. We're also going to talk about why others put on challenges. Why do people always join challenges and stuff like that? And so we're going to talk about all of those type of people and why people join challenges, right? And why, why does that mess up people's perception on what's going to happen? Right. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about. And it's really crucial to talk about it. In regards to week 3, right? Because many of you will sort of, resonate to a couple of the examples, right? And the whole point is not to poke fun or to point out that you're the reason why you're failing or anything, that you're the reason why you're struggling, but to point out that there's so many different examples of why people stop, right? And why, so many people join, like 30 people join a challenge and probably 5 people will make it through, right? Why is that? Right, so that's really what we're going to be talking about today. So if you have comments or if you have questions, feel free to post in the comment section. As always, I get everything, so I'll be able to answer any type of question that you might have. Right, so the main theme, why people fail. And this is usually because people's values and what they like, their expectations, not values, their expectations don't match what is actually going to happen. Right. And it's mainly because we live in a diet culture, right? We're bombarded with information on the next best thing. We're bombarded by, before and after pictures, right? And stuff like that. So when you do something, you expect those results, even though out of 1,000 people, right, those are the handful of people that got the easy results. Right? And we do that as well, right? There's so many, like I generally don't use before and after pictures anymore, but the easy case is when so many people, they get amazing results and I look amazing, right? But that's not real life. That's not the majority. We try to hit the majority, but that's why most people fail when it comes to weight loss challenges or diet plans in general or New Year's resolutions, right? Their expectations, usually out of desperation, but their expectations are right here, right? The new shiny thing. But in real life, majority are going to be here and not getting this super fast result. But that's what your expectations are, right? And your expectations might not follow what you're actually doing, right? And they might be, right? But we try to hit the general, right? So that's why most people end up failing in general. So why do people join challenges, right? And it's usually because of that, right? They want to get results. And so they expect to get the results that those before and afters got, right? Here at Strive, we, obviously we used to use before and afters. We don't really do too much. We use the weight loss shirts now, right? And, a lot of people give us a lot of good reviews, right? I lost like 30 pounds, stuff like that. And that's why people join, a lot of the challenges, right? And it's marketing. We do that as well. But that's why most people join. Right? They're going to, oh man, you know what? I'm going to do this and I'm going to get that. Right? And everyone does that. Right? But the thing is a lot of people don't realize that, like the ones that get super fast results generally that is the unique one, right? Most people, that most of the time doesn't happen, right? And a lot of times it was making small little changes, but that's what everyone showcases because it's a huge, awesome story. In reality, the grind for most people, right, is a lot of work for the coach as well as the client, right? Most people don't talk about that. That's why a lot of times when it does happen, it's like, holy shit, this was awesome. Like, this is amazing, right? Just because of all of that grind that happened, right? Whereas people that lose like 40 pounds in like, 6 weeks, that looks amazing because of the number. But in reality, it wasn't that big of a change a lot of times, right? But that's why people join, right? They are expecting to get this, right? They're expecting to do some of these things, right? Because this person did that, right? We're not talking about, how to do it or the bad way or, eating like 500 calories and not working out like Ideal You or Optavia and stuff like that, whatever. We're not talking about the shitty ways to do it. We're just talking about why people join, right? And so that is why, right? They want that change. They want that massive change, right? Because they're like desperate. They're like, oh man, if I do this because this person did that same thing, I'm going to get there, right? And that's one of the reasons why our goal for our challenges is not like, lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks, right? Get this massive change. Our goal, and we talk about this all the time, is to get control, right? That is to learn something, right? A lot of times we call it a kickstart or a jumpstart, right? It is just to get control of our results. Most people don't have that because they've never been told how to. That's why we do coaching. We don't just give macros or a meal plan. A lot of gyms, this is the main reason why we do it this way, because of all the people we've worked with in the past. This is what works, right? It's not about what gets you result. It's how you're able to keep it, right? So it's very, very educational. We talk about mindset. We talk about little by little, right? And that is the goal of this challenge, right? It's to learn some things. And for us as a facility, there's many people, like, this is a very general challenge, right? But for us, we like for our clients, everyone is very, very different. Some people are in the note of they've never really dieted a whole lot in their lives, and now they're going to be that before and after, right? It's very, very easy. They'll probably lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. It's amazing. Awesome. That is the anomaly, right? They're there. There's going to be some people that get the typical results, right? Within 6 weeks, maybe you lose 6 to 8 pounds, right? The whole point of the 6 weeks is to get you consistent enough to learn some things so you go beyond the 6 weeks. A typical diet or a fat loss phase is 12 weeks, 12 to 16. So it's not 6 weeks, right? This is only the start, right? And in reality, a lot of times the first 4 weeks is a shit show, right? The first 4 weeks is trial and error until you get consistent, right? That's our transition period, right? So some people will be able to get those little bit of results and then keep on going. And then there's others that they struggle mightily, either being consistent or they are consistent and they just don't get results, right? Those are the people, right, that we acknowledge during this challenge. And now the tactic has to change, right? This is clearly not working. So let's do this, right? All of those 3 people are going to be shown during this challenge, right? The reason why we do it this way is so we can help all 3 of those people, right? Most challenges, it's, hey, eat this. Hey, do this. Hey, follow this meal plan, right? Which will get you results if you can do it. But the answer usually is, hey, try harder when you struggle, right? You need to do better. You need to try harder, right? That's what most people's coaching, quote unquote, is when people struggle during challenges. You need to follow the directions more. You need to follow it more stricter, right? And that's not our goal for this. Our goal is to learn how to do it, not just to get the results, right? Because that is very Band-Aid-ish, right? You can do that. If I gave you a meal plan, right? And some of you, I mean, everyone has a meal plan and you follow it 100%, you will probably 90% of the time get results. But that's not real life, right? We didn't learn anything there. You just learned that follow directions, right? So that is why our goal of the challenge is to do all of these little bits and pieces. So that way you can learn how to do it. Will you get results during that time? Most likely. If not, as long as you're consistent, we can figure that out. So that's why we do it this way, just simply because the answer shouldn't be you need to follow directions, right? Anyone can follow directions. That's elementary school, right? But most people can't learn how to do it, right? And this shit takes work, right? It should take work. That's why a lot of times when people see those, the reason why we always talk about it this way, when people see those before and afters, right? And then they come in and then it's like they actually realize it actually takes some goddamn work. Most people stop, right? Because, oh, shit, I thought I was just going to lose 20 pounds, right? That person did, right? That's not real life, right? Real life is grind. Real life is failure. And then you get a little bit better as long as you learn something. And that's the whole point of us as coaches, right? This is a coaching facility. This is a coaching challenge. I straight up told you during the onboarding session, you're not going to lose 20 pounds during this time, right? Most of you won't even lose 10, right? Average is around 8, like 6 to 8, maybe 10, right? Depends on how much you lose that first couple of weeks, right? Or how far you are off. But that's real life, right? Most people don't accept that because of the diet culture that we live in. And that's why most people will fail. And that's what I'm going to get to right now, right? So that is why people join, right? That is why we don't do it like most people do it, right? That's why our goal of the challenge is to learn things, right? Not just get results, right? And the people during this challenge or our nutrition coaching, the faster you realize on why we do it this way, right? And the reason is because we've worked with a whole bunch of people, right? And it'd be super, super easy for us to take 60 people, give them a meal plan, showcase the people that got results because it was easy. We didn't do jack shit. The other person just followed directions like an elementary school student. And then we don't pay. And then we just tell the people that struggle to try harder. It'd be super easy to do that. I can do that right now for everyone, right? But we don't do that because that doesn't teach you anything, right? So now you become dependent on that meal plan. And instead, we want to teach you this stuff. But the shit takes work. Most people are not ready for that, which is also why we have so many diets in this society, but yet obesity is at an all-time high and it's still growing, right? Because most people depend on the instant gratification, the easy way out, right? Which most people don't have a hard time losing weight. They have a hard time maintaining, right? You do this work, you learn some things, you learn how to lose weight, but you also learn how to maintain. Most people are missing that, right? We'll talk about that with the weeks to come. Right. So that is the goal of this challenge. That's why we do that. That's why I'm talking about it right now. Right. Because most people, even though they hear me saying that, they don't actually listen. Right. Until it actually like shit hits the wall. So why people fail. Right. So why do people like fail around week 3? Right. And so now the main reason, and you probably already figured that out, is that their expectations are not matching what reality is. They're expecting to lose every single week. That's not true. That's not going to happen, right? Most people will lose, like initially, right? So these are the 3 categories that people will go through these challenges. Very similar to what I already talked about, right? That first person is shit show, right? They might lose consistently, right? Awesome. Kill it, right? Some people will lose a lot initially, right? That 3 pounds in 1 week. And they'll expect that to happen all the time. And then it doesn't, right? That usually happens around week 3. And when that happens, they view themselves as a failure. They view themselves as it's not working. So they say, F it. And then they stop week 3, week 4, something like that, right? Because all they were worried about was, oh my God, this is working so good. And then, oh my God, it's not. What's wrong, right? Why didn't I lose another 3 pounds? I only lost 1. I must have did something wrong. So then they stop. Right. The other person, maybe they are just straight up not consistent, right? This is too hard. This is too difficult. I don't have enough time, right? And then they stop, right? They stop around week 3 and then not like, they're overwhelmed. They can't do it. They're not following the plan, right? Which whatever, if they follow the plan, they would have got results, but it is difficult at the beginning, right? They're not accepting that. They're accepting that it's too hard, too difficult. I don't have enough time. So then they stop. Their motivation was the only thing holding them into the program. And then now all of a sudden that awesome motivation, I'm going to get great results, because this program works for everyone else. And now week 3, they realize that it actually takes goddamn work and it's too difficult. I'm accepting failure. So then they just stop, right? They don't blame themselves. They blame the program was too difficult, right? It's not for them. Okay. Week 3, they stop. Or the last person that fails is the one that riding momentum, riding the motivation. They're doing really, really good. And then all of a sudden life happens, right? They lose weight and, then life happens and they don't know how to handle it. They failed over the weekend, right? Usually around week 2 or week 3 is when life happens. And then now all of a sudden they say, screw it, right? Because, oh my God, well, I already messed up. So who really cares, right? I couldn't be consistent for 6 weeks. So who really cares, right? My weight is up on Monday because I messed up on the weekend. And so now who really cares, right? That's why people fail around week 3, right? Or around, end of January or something like that. So like life happens. So they say, fuck it. That is why people end up failing challenges. One of those reasons, either their expectations are too high and they don't see the positivity that's actually happening, right? Life actually happens, or it's too difficult. All of those can be handled if your expectations match our expectations, right? The goal of the challenge. All we're trying to do is learn how to lose, right? We learn how to do it, right? We learn to take imperfect action. We focus on a couple of things. And then the goal is to just be consistent, right? It's all it is. And then all of a sudden we talk about it. Did it work? Yes or no? If it didn't, we adjust it. And then you keep on going, right? You keep on going. You keep on going. Once you do that, the overall goal of this challenge is to create a Yeah, this is how you actually maintain, right? So that is how you do all of these things. You want to take imperfect action. So for a lot of people during the week 3, week 4, anything like that, they fail because they don't take imperfect action. They're trying to be perfect. They're trying to be like, oh my God, I just need to do this for 6 weeks and then all my problems will be solved. That's not true, right? At most of the time, people just say, if I just lose 30 pounds, I'll be happy. That's not true either, right? Most people will always struggle. That's why we talk about owning our shit, right? If we struggle with time, right, that is your problem, right? Own it instead of trying to ignore it. You own your shit and then you get better with it. That's all it is. If you have body image issues, you're always going to have body image issues. Shit, I do. People know that all the time. Anytime we talk on our nutrition calls, I have body image issues, right? I've never been overweight my entire life, right? And most people wouldn't say that I'm not a confident person, but I 100% have body image issues, right? It's just deep down inside my head and I just don't worry about it, right? But they always come up. I'm always acknowledging that they're up there. Right? Most people don't acknowledge those things. They just assume that's a sign of failure. They don't own it, right? So then they try to ignore it. But ignoring it, when it comes back, it's going to come back even stronger, right? So that is today's video. That is why people join challenges. What's the main reason, right? And so this is why most people do it, right? Why we have our expectations for our challenge and why it needs to match your expectations or else it will not work. And it's also why we do that, right? It's not just because we're better or anything like that. It's just because that's what gets most people results, right? It's not just about the meal plan. It's it's not just about, oh my God, showcase we're amazing, right? It is to find what works for the majority of people. We are in it to coach. We're not in it to get results. We're in it to coach. We want people to get results, not just showcase the best results, right? And why we do that. And then also why people fail. We talk about it during this time frame just simply because this is when majority of you will fail, right? Odds are we have like 30-ish people in this challenge. Odds are probably 6 people, probably about 10 people will make it through the challenge. Probably about 6 people will get significant results. Majority of people will stop logging. They'll stop checking in. They'll stop posting stuff on Facebook, right, for us to help around week 4, week 3, something like that, right, for all of those reasons. So the main reason why I have this video is to go through all of these things, right, to not like make sure you realize that this is going to happen for most of you, and to also just so you acknowledge it, so you stop it. It should be what I just said today should be a lot of aha moments, or oh my God, he's talking about me, right? And the main reason why that should happen is because our trainers, we work with majority of different people, right? It's not always just one size fits all. We work with people. And so we start learning all of these different things that the majority of the stuff happens. That's why a lot of the stuff that I say, most people resonate with, right? Because it's probably majority people, right? So hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions or any comments or something like that, just post in there in the comment section. And obviously we keep on going and we go in to week 3. Talk to you soon.